Alright guys, this is latest 247. So as you can see already from the image, you should understand where I'm going to. Heritage Bank has been closed down. In other words, the CBN, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria, has revoked the license, the banking license of Heritage Bank. So guys, if you have money in Heritage Bank, shall be praying, because now you are going to take whatever thing they give to you. So let me tell you what is going to happen, or let me give you a backstory of what happened and what is happening and what might still happen. So listen carefully or just follow through. So this whole issue actually started just about some, let's say, months now, early May. Customers started having issues with Heritage Bank, where they will go to get their money and they will not get the money. They will be in queues. People will be standing stranded in front of the banks, and the bank kept giving excuses that they are refreshing the system. Are refreshing the system. All right, no problem. Refresh the system. We understand that these are IT stuffs. Okay, but it got to a point whereby the refreshing of the system was now taking too long. Okay, no problem. Eventually, they said they are done with refreshing the system. Okay, now that you are done with refreshing the system, how far? More excuses keep coming up, more excuses keep coming up, more excuses keep coming up. So people started complaining, be like, oh, my money is in this bank, I can't get my money, and I need money to do so and so. So the thing started going viral. People got it, banking sector started noticing, and then the CBN noticed. The information got to them that this bank is in distress. And the big brother, which they are, the CBN, now jumped in. So they jumped in to now check, okay, what is happening? How can we help manage the situation to make sure that things are okay, people get their money? So CBN decided to work with them, assign their person to work with them to make sure that everything is balanced so that they can pay the customers. But unfortunately, even with the CBN coming to join them, the things kept getting worse and worse. Like they say, worse. It kept getting worse and worse and worse. You get to a point whereby the CBN be like, oh man, there's nothing we can do about this. We can't help the situation any longer. So guys, junior brothers, because they're the big brothers. So junior brothers, Heritage Bank will have to shut you down. So now the CBN has now openly, publicly, and officially now revoked the license of Heritage Bank. So Heritage Bank, as we speak right now, is no longer functional. Is no longer a bank as I'm speaking to you right now. So if you have your money there, your money is tied. But I'll explain to you what is going to happen to your money. So since they now drop the, based on constitution, based on banking charter, based on whatever thing they call it, they're able to pick out some laws and stuff like that. And with that, they're able to revoke the license of the bank because the bank has consistently failed to meet the need of the customer. And they are actually worried, CBN is worried that if this bank is not quickly revoked, the license is not revoked and something done about it, people will start having bad faith about banks because people will start being like, okay, Heritage Bank crashed, nothing happened. What about if CBN, what if First Bank crashed tomorrow? What about Zenith Bank crashed tomorrow? So in order to prevent that biases about banks not being stable, the CBN decided to revoke the license and close down Heritage Bank. So now what is going to happen is that if you have money in that bank, Heritage Central Bank has actually assigned the NDIC. NDIC, like when you go to bank, when you are entering the bank, that door of entering the bank, you always see something like insured by NDIC, insured under or insured by NDIC, which is more like insurance for the banks to ensure that even though the bank fails, you still be able to get a certain amount of money, so that you don't lose everything. So the central bank assigned the NDIC to take over the bank and make sure that the customers get their money. However, because this is an insured money, the NDIC will not be able to pay everybody, and they will not be able to pay every amount of money you have in that bank, especially when it exceeds a certain amount. So according to the insurance contract and everything, the NDIC can only pay from 5 million naira downward. So if you have any amount of money that is below 5 million in that bank right now, Heritage Bank, okay, you have to be hopeful. You are going to get your money. Most likely you are going to get your money. If you have 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 100,000, you are going to get your money. Hopefully you are going to get your money. But if you have anything more than that, sorry, you might not get the money now. However, provisions will be made to pay you your money, but it will not be immediate. You only get the remainder part of the money when the bank gets liquidate properly, like when they eventually sell the bank or when they sell the assets, and things like that, and they're able to get money from it. From there, they will now be able to pick out some money and then pay you. And they might still not pay you all your money, but at least they will be able to get some money to pay you, because I mean a bank that has failed is more like selling scrap. You are not going to sell it at the big price. You're not going to sell it at the market price. You're going to sell it as a failed bank. You're going to sell the properties and everything like that. So you might not be able to get all your money if you have more than 10 million, more than 5 million in that account. But if you have less than 5 million, hopefully you get your money based on the NDIC, the insurance package. They'll pay you your money, and it's going to be done gradually. Now, the system the bank say they are going to use in order to make it easy is to make use of NIN and the BVN and things like that. Of course, BVN is the main important one for them. And I'm really surprised seeing this, and I'm kind of happy because, in this country like Nigeria, we know you do registration, voter registration this year. Next year, if there happens to be an election, they will say you should come and redo it again. Next 2 years, they'll say redo it again. You now be wondering, the one they did before, what they do with it? The other one they did. So it's like they keep getting all the biometrics, and none of them is being stored anywhere. So for the first time now, the central bank is saying that the NDIC is going to use BVN to be able to trace people's address, trace people's bank accounts. So if you have accounts in Heritage Bank and you also have accounts in any other bank, as long as the BVN is connected to the account, it is going to link to you. So they are going to use your BVN to now make transfers to you. So whatever money you have in the bank, you don't have to go to the bank and wait for your money. No, they will just trace your BVN to any other bank that is connected to you, and they will pay the money to the account. So you'll be able to get your money. That's if you have below 5 million. Now, I hope that you are not owing money anywhere, because if you are owing money anywhere and they pay it, that is not your own problem. It's your own problem. Like those that are owing GT Bank or those that are owing PalmPay, they pay you there and you are owing. Those people too collect their own money, but hopefully it's not like that. So that is the update about that. However, if you don't have BVN, or if you don't have any other account rather, the only option you have now will be to go to the bank or to go to the NDIC website or CBN website, one of those places. Go and look for where to fill the form. Fill the form, send in your proof of identity, maybe national ID card, a driver license, passport to prove your identity, and then your new account number. You submit it to them. With that, they can pay you your money. But if you don't have that, sorry, your money might be gone. Now, okay, but like I was also reasoning, what about those that have business accounts on that or with that bank that have maybe 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, a billion? What is going to happen to your money? So you suddenly say that maybe a business that is thriving will suddenly just collapse because a bank has decided to mismanage its money. Now, what would have made the bank mismanage money? Now, according to what the CBN has put out, it's showing that, or they're kind of hinting that, the bank has borrowed out a lot of money. And now those that they might have borrowed are now defaulting. And because they are defaulting now, the bank is not able to meet its own credit needs any longer. Now, that's an assumption. The CBN didn't give the full detail, but they are giving hint that the owers of the bank, because they are owing the bank, should pay. So it means that the bank has borrowed out a lot of money, and now they are not able to meet with their own credit need. Now, and for someone to have borrowed and not been able to pay back, what do you think is happening? The economy is getting worse. So if I borrow 2 million for a business and the fuel price has increased, food price has increased and everything, and I have that, maybe I bought a goods to sell, and then the people I'm expecting to buy from me are not buying from me because the economy is not smiling for them. What is going to happen to my business? My business is going to stand still. And when it stands still, I will not be able to make the money back to pay back my loan. Now, the bank that gave me the money will now be waiting, and then I can't pay back. What would they do? They won't arrest me. They will say, okay, they are coming to take over the business, fine. They take over the business. They still cannot recover the money even though if they sell it, because they can't sell it at the full price if they are selling it at auction. So at the end of the day, the bank will not be able to recover his money, and then the bank will now fold, just like what is happening to Heritage Bank now. And let's not even go to the part whereby banks are, the forex thing, whereby banks are using the money to trade, quick turnaround money. Those are a lot of things that bank does that we don't even know. But at least the one we know is the one of credit. Bank gives out credit and they give it based on interest. And so if those that collect the credit pay back with interest, bank make extra money from that, so that they can be able to pay back those that borrowed the money or those that deposited the money. So, but if those that borrowed the money now have a bad business, it now becomes a bad loan, or there's a time they use for it, like a bad loan. When that becomes a bad loan, now what happens? The bank can't recover that money, and then those that are waiting for the money, they actually deposited the money. That is to show you that all the thing they used to say is actually true. That they say if you deposit your money in the bank, your money is actually not sitting in the bank. No, your money is sitting in is with other people doing business out there. So when you put 10,000, you think it's 10. No, they gave it to the next person that came to borrow money. So at the end of the day, it's even better for you to even hold your money and be using it to do business than to give it to bank. Because bank will give it to someone else for interest, take the interest, and then pay you back just your money without interest. But now, if that person that they borrowed it to fucks up and messes up and could not pay back, now it affects you that you are innocent. Can you imagine those that have 10 million, 20 million, 100 million in that account now, that they are going to suddenly go broke because a bank decides to lend out money without being able to follow up? Now, you might not blame the bank totally, from my own perspective. You can't blame the bank totally. You have to, if you are blaming the bank, you have to blame the economy, because the economy is the chief cause of all the problems we are going through right now. Because if the economy was good, that bank has been surviving for years. How are they doing it? You get? So that means the businesses, a lot of businesses would have been borrowing money and bringing it back, paying back, because the economy was good. But now that the economy is getting worse, now that the economy has gotten worse, people that borrowed we are not able to pay back. And I'm suspecting now that since it happened to Heritage Bank, other banks too might be a victim in some ways, but we have not just heard. Other banks too, because banks survive by loaning out money and then trading money and trading forex, and also loaning out, giving loans out. That's how banks make a lot of their money. So other banks too might be in that shoe. But let's keep our eyes open, keep our eyes peeled, and watch out and see what happens to other banks too. However, if you have money in other banks too, use your brain, diversify your money through other accounts in case if anyone goes down, at least you still have some cash for yourself. That is my humble advice. However, there's also something that crosses my mind. This video is becoming longer, but I'll say it anyway. You don't have to listen to everything. So what I'm reasoning now is that how did it get to that point without CBN knowing? Because exactly what is the function of the CBN if not to monitor and make sure that these other banks are compliant to certain rules? So for it to have gotten to that point means it has been a long time coming. Things have been getting bad for a long time before it got to this point whereby the bank cannot fulfill its own credit need any longer. Where was CBN? So if people didn't have issues, if people didn't come up and speak out, CBN wouldn't have known. So what exactly is CBN doing? CBN is supposed to regulate, is supposed to monitor, is supposed to ensure that these banks have liquidity. I mean, I remember the time when Solido was there. There is this famous thing on news then. They always say we have about 25 banks to make it. Back then they were requiring banks to have about, I think, 25 billion or how many billion in their reserve. So does it mean that Heritage Bank has been running below reserve for a lot of months now, for months and months, and CBN did not notice? Or have they been paying off, or someone knows it and is trying to cover it up? Because there's no way their reserve is going to be low and CBN will not know. Unless if the CBN is actually not doing its job. Because these banks have to report to CBN every other day to make sure that they have enough reserve. So for it to have gotten to a point whereby they were not able to pay their customer means that they don't have a reserve for a long period of time, or their reserve has been dwindling below the mark and the CBN didn't notice until the customers started reporting. Now this is a case, this is a food of thought. Think about it. Because something is fishy somewhere. Is it that the CBN has known this before now, or the CBN is actually not even that active as we think? So that is just my humble thoughts and humble submission. Let me know what you think. Thank you.